What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Legion of X issue number 9. Now, Legion of X has been filled with all kinds of stuff going on. More specifically, what we have seen is mutants all over the globe. They are sprouting horrific secondary mutations. This includes Nightcrawler, believing that there has to be some kind of catalyst for this. Nightcrawler, Dr. Nemesis, and Pixie, they have teamed up with the Black Knight, now discovered to be a mutant herself. They are looking for the source, tracking a lead. This leads them to Nightcrawler's adopted mother, and we are gonna soon learn exactly what kind of game she is playing at. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we are picking up at the altar, the reports are coming in. The secondary mutations are happening all across the globe, completely at random, affecting any of them at any time. But coming through the gateway into the altar, we have Charles Xavier. He has come to have a conversation with his son. When Legion does ask, "What are you doing here?" Charles Xavier says that he is simply a father coming to visit his son without any ulterior motive. Touching him on the shoulder, we do see a small zap. Legion doesn't recognize what happens, and it doesn't appear to be anything significant, at least not yet. And so while they have their conversation, we are taken to Kurt. We are taken to Nightcrawler and his adopted mother, as she calls Nightcrawler over, saying, "Come embrace me." He recognizes that something is off, that something is wrong. Turning to Pixie and asking her if she can tell how powerful his adopted mother is, that how much magic she is currently wielding, because she is an initiate of the Winding Way, a form of sorcery where power, it waxes and wanes, almost like the moon. So there are moments where she is extremely powerful, there are other moments where her magic is almost not even there at all. But right now, she is humming with power. She could even give the Sorcerer Supreme a run for their money. But when she is at her mightiest, she becomes unbelievably untrustworthy. Power corrupts her, recognizing that they're skipping the hugs, they're skipping the cuddles. That is when she stops playing possum and she turns on our Legionnaires. Blocking a spell, this is where Pixie recognizes that this is the same spell that is mutating all the mutants. She is the culprit. She is the one responsible for turning them all into monsters. But Pixie wasn't able to block it all. That is where we see Dr. Nemesis. He begins to mutate. Now that is what takes us to Krakoa, right outside of the Narthex. We have Lost, we have Juggernaut, and we have Forget-Me-Not. They are noticing changes to the building. Some kind of techno-organic material. It is creating vines and it is wrapping up this building. At the same time, we see that Cypher, he is going through excruciating pain. This is where Banshee, the spirit of variance, he comes into play. He knows that Cypher is soul bonded to Warlock. The last lingering threads are breaking. Now we all know the spirit of vengeance has the Pinister. The spirit of variance, he has something a little bit different. This is called the Scream of Change. As the spirit of variance screams into the face of Doug, it allows him to escape its frayed edges and trace the cause of his trauma. Seeing what is truly going on with Cypher, he sees a fraction of vast intelligence, a coil of thinking software. Also being surprised to discover it had a presence on the Astral Plane. It snuck into the altar when nobody was watching. In there, it waited. It hid in the Cortex Complex, with Legion's fractured psyches binding its time, sneaking out to cause mischief, pushing events towards the moment. And when Warlock had walked by, it took its opportunity. The goal was to destabilize and sabotage. Instead, what it found was Warlock, woven into the very nervous system that is Krakoa. The opportunity being irresistible for the invasive software. By hacking into Warlock's mind, Nimrod has seized Krakoa itself. As Lost tries to reach out to David, trying to reach out to Legion, he appears not to be listening. That is because he is currently too busy with Charles Xavier, showing him around the altar. Legion is actually happy. His father wants to see what he has created, wants to see everything that he has done. And even for a moment, we see that Charles Xavier, he sheds a tear. Now, at first, Charles, he believed that this was a trap. He thought Legion had intended to fight him. He had seemed so full of resentment, never being able to properly read his mind, and so he assumed that this was something else. But he is quickly recognizing that this is a place of healing, that he sees that now. He truly believes that the altar is breathtaking, even going as far as saying that he is proud of him, but also that he is sorry. Legion being able to feel that Charles's thoughts are filled with guilt. Legion's mind begins to hurt, asking what he has done. That zap we saw Charles do when he first came in, that was a preemptive strike. This was Charles making sure that Legion couldn't take him down. Only now learning that he made a mistake, learning that Legion never had intentions of doing him any kind of harm. But picking us up with Dr. Nemesis, we have seen the fungus grow. We have seen him mutate in such drastic ways. And while Dr. Nemesis goes in to attack Nightcrawler's mother, this is where she says that you couldn't calculate the last digit of pi. In that moment, it makes him pause as he starts spouting out numbers. This takes Dr. Nemesis off the board. When Black Knight goes in to take her down, Nightcrawler jumps into the way, a primal instinct. Nightcrawler, he is unable to let any harm come to her. When Pixie asks, why are you doing this? Why are you turning mutants into monsters? What we learn is that she has been contracted out, that somebody is paying her to do this. That is where we see the Orcus agents. This was all a plot from Orcus. They had been scheming and manipulating, trying to make the world see mutants as the monsters that they see them as. That is what jumps us over to the Astral Plane. With David not understanding what is going on in his mind, Mother Righteous comes to him, letting him know that the end is coming, that there is still time to make a deal with her. Charles Xavier seeing Mother Righteous for the first time, not knowing who she is or what she is doing here. As they look into the Astral Plane, they see the Technarchy, the probe from the Phalanx. It has returned. Charles Xavier having no idea what the heck is going on. David is calling out to Blindfold, and while Charles Xavier says that there is no way that that thing is the Technarchy, they let him know that this is a new form, one that they must have missed with all of the astral blooms. The defense is the one that Warlock helped them build. They want to get them activated. They want to get them online. But Blindfold recognizes that it's not coming for David. It's not coming for the Astral Plane. It is coming for Krakoa. But it's not going for the Earth or the borders, the physical paths or the waterways, the portals or the altars. It is attacking the mind of Krakoans. It begins infecting, first attacking those that are in the depths of sleep, those with a foot already in the Astral Plane, each brain being a portal. Charles Xavier freaking the heck out, not knowing what is going on, asking what are they doing to his island. We are seeing them take over individual mutants, and they are becoming one. They are becoming a hive mind, attacking and going after anybody that hasn't been brought into this. Blindfold asking what happened to Legion. Charles Xavier, he says never mind that for right now. He can sense their hunger, asking how they can stop this, because it is multiplying, activating, it is swarming. As the Babel Spire comes towards them, We see Juggernaut doing his best to hold off this swarm, trying to make everything them. This is where Cypher doesn't understand. If this is the Technarchy, they destroy and absorb. If this is Nimrod's doing, why build a beacon to call them? Because surely he wants to hack Krakoa, not call down a plague on the whole planet. This is where Juggernaut recognizes that this is a distraction, or at least he is told that this is a distraction. He is told this by Forget-Me-Not, because Nimrod has nearly finished his hack. He is playing for time now. Forget-Me-Not made his way inside. The portal didn't move away for him. Just like everybody else, it seems to have forgotten who he was. But he is able to see Warlock. He is groaning, he is in pain. But then he sees him. He sees Nimrod. Before he is able to let them know that there are sentinels as well inside, the comms go dead. That is what takes us inside. We see that Warlock is currently chained up. We see that Nimrod is taking over Krakoa, and we see a good handful of sentinels that are coming to grab Forget-Me-Not. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. So it appears that everything that has been going on is because of Nimrod. Now Nimrod has remained relatively dormant for quite a while. He had his play in Judgment Day, but outside of that, it has been, I don't know, probably about 6 months since we've actually seen anything going on with Nimrod. They have been slowly biding their time. Nimrod has been waiting in the quiet corners, staying hidden away until Warlock passed by him in the altar. Once Warlock did this, Nimrod had taken the opportunity to jump into him. Once he found out that Warlock was connected to all of Krakoa, it was easy picking for him to try and take over Krakoa itself. Not sure what happened to Legion. Charles has done something to him, and I can see that Charles is going to try to blame Legion. Gonna try to blame the altar, trying to blame Nightcrawler. But the truth is, all of this was inevitable to happen. And by Legion being taken out of the fight because of Charles, because of his foolishness, so much more damage is going to be done because Legion is not there to fight. But this is just going to show that Orcus, while they have been quiet, while they have been laying low, they have been plotting, they have been scheming, they have been making their play against Krakoa. Now that the dominoes have fallen, we are gonna have to see what happens on the other side. We are gonna have to see if mutantkind is able to stop Nimrod. Now, let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with this series, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is gonna get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having 5 different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting free comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.